trusty Joe, who tried to sharp at the exact moment I was talking. Hey Joe. Let's give out some free stuff. You can have one of those. Thank you. You can have one of those. These were redeemed on Steam, you should definitely do that. Have one of those. It's just eager, it's nice to see people sitting at the front. Good job. So yeah, Alan's going to give a talk now about some rubbish game on my way. So yeah, give it up for Alan, everyone.
Before I start, I thought it would be a good idea to thank some of the people that have been doing stuff behind the scenes. We've got Emma by the door, who has been letting everybody in. She's live tweeting an event. We've got Charlie, who is hanging somewhere behind that camera. She's been live filming the events. We've got Will, who does pretty much everything, including really good being good. And last but not least, Jake has put on another amazing evening. This is about 3 times the capacity it was last time, so we'll get everybody a big hand. That'll be fantastic. Right, that was the easy part, okay. I am fascinated by nostalgia because I am its prisoner. And I've spent the past few months thinking about nostalgia and how it affects me both as a critic and a player. And there's no better time to look at nostalgia than Christmas. So we all know who this is, right? Now, obviously not the kid, nobody cares who the kid is, but we all care about Muffy the Penguin, who is the star of this year's John Lewis Christmas advert. So Christmas marketing is saying to us, you can have those traditional family moments you remember, and you can do this by shopping with us. Please buy this jar of artisanal goose fat. And so we can't travel back in time, but we're left yearning for the past, and that's what nostalgia actually is. So nostalgia comes from a couple of Greek words. It's nostos, which means homecoming, and algos, which means pain. And it was originally used to describe the anxieties of Swiss mercenaries fighting away from home. Thanks, Wikipedia. It's a sentimentality for the past. And it's usually a time or place with happy connotations. While I was working on this presentation, dictionary.com's word of the day was nostomania, which is an irresistible compulsion to return home. I think nostomania is a really accurate description of how many people view video games. So I have loved old video games since they were new. This is Christmas 1992. As you can see, my hair has not changed. And this is a Sega Mega Drive. It's the year that I met my childhood hero, which is of course Sonic the Hedgehog. Of course, for Sonic fans, the past 22 years have been a little bit traumatic. Sonic looks like this. Now, it is no secret the modern Sonic games are pretty terrible. There's a question that crops up time and time again, is Sonic shit? But a much more interesting question is this Sonic shit? Is the Sonic of my childhood shit? Has Sonic always been shit? Now, in case you're wondering, the answer is actually no. But I'm going to be a little bit more on that later. So the first question, which is Sonic shit now, is a lot easier to answer than the second because it's really hard to evaluate the game from 1992 and 2014. And games are technology driven, games age quickly. Even when a developer makes a new game in the style of an old one, they make very different design decisions. Does anybody play Shovel Knight? Any Shovel Knight fans? Hey, I love it too, love it. So Shovel Knight's a game that matches modern design sensibilities with old school aesthetics. And whenever we're playing the game's playing with us too. Specifically, it's our sense of nostalgia. When it comes to the masters of the modeling, you have to look to Nintendo, and the most popular franchises like Mario, Zelda, Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. These are portals to the memories of gaming past. Mario games have level designs that are actually serious in-jokes, and our prior knowledge enhances our appreciation of these games. Nintendo's business model revolves around nostalgia and sentimentality with products like the Amiibo, which obviously should have been called the Amigo, but that's beside the point. So, is Sonic shit? Is Mario shit? Is it just me? Or is everything shit? So in the 10th issue of 5 out of 10, I wrote a piece called Get Well. I've got a few favourite games that I like to call my Get Well games. And those are the games that put you into your comfort zone and they take you back to a better time. So does anybody want to shout out some Get Well games?
Fantasy Star Online.
That's a good choice. Oh, okay. You've done your Twitter research. Good call. Max Payne 2. Mario shit, take it back.
Max Payne 3.
Max Payne 3. So everybody's got this idea of what those Get Well games mean, which is great. And one of my Get Well games is Christmas Nights into Dreams, which was released in December 1996. And to me, it combines that Get Well goodness of Nights with the nostalgia of Christmas. I deliberately didn't want to show a video clip of Nights because it's really hard to understand until you play it. So here's a quote from my Eurogamer retrospective last year, which is, Nights blasts out of its prison like a fizzing magenta firework. Rings explode in all dimensions as you pass through them, leaving a twinkling contrail in your wake, Nights crumpling with the speed of the dash. The problem with Nights was not the game itself. The problem was it was released in the same time as Mario 64 and was invariably compared to it because it was the same time. It was a big 3D game. It was from Sonic Team. It was really unfortunate because while Mario 64 is a game all about discovery and exploration, Nights is all about repetition. It's actually a score attack game. It's much closer to something like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or Crazy Taxi rather than a Mario or a Sonic game. And repetitive games are comforting to us because we know what to expect. We listen to our favourite music, we watch our favourite movies, not because we're expecting something new, but because we're expecting that familiarity, we want that security. And nostalgia is longing for this familiarity of the past rather than the fear of the unknown. There are other reasons why Nights is a really uplifting game. Nights has this A-Life feature. These little creatures are called Nightopians, and they bounce around the levels, and you can save them from all the evil monsters. And totally just dropped my remote, but I'm going to pretend it didn't. But I'm going to talk anyway, so you all know I did. So this is from the description in the manual. The sole reason for their existence is to have fun. They are incapable of doing anything else, just like me. So one nice touch is the more Nightopians you save, the happier the in-game music actually becomes, and it changes in real time and it becomes even more upbeat as you play. Of course, another reason that I like Nights so much is the Sega fanboy factor. It is the quintessential Sega Saturn game, which means it's something that's creatively daring, but it's commercially suicidal. And it's perhaps the best game Sonic Team have ever made, and it really captures that essence of speed and flight and freedom in a way that 3D Sonic games have actually never managed. So let's go from Nights to Christmas Nights. So what does the additional factor bring here? What does it change to this game? How does it take my Get Well game, something that already brings me in a happy place, and further elevate those nostalgic effects? You can only actually play Christmas Nights at Christmas. It uses the Saturn's internal clock to determine what time it is. So if you play it in June, you just get a regular Nights demo like this. But if you play it in December, it then looks like this. So you get Nights wearing red instead of purple, the heroes are in their winter woolies, and the goal of each level is a giant Christmas tree instead of the usual target. So it pretty much looks as tacky as everybody's house right now. And the soundtrack obviously changes to a particularly jolly version of Jingle Bells, and on Christmas Day you can even see Santa flying through Nightopia. It's really quite nice. But it isn't just a demo, it's a lot more than skin. And whenever you're playing the Festive Edition, you get to open Christmas presents at the end of each game, and you dip into your save file from the regular Nights game, and you can explore some of those A-Life features. So you can see as you play, you gradually unlock lots of presents, but one of them is this Melody Box feature. And that lets you remix the music, and you can check out all the Nightopians bouncing around every level. And what I really love about Christmas Nights is that it is a great complement to the main game because it helps to unlock all of those mysteries and all those things you didn't really understand. But yeah, there's still a little bit of mystery there. But of course, the best present that any Sega fan could hope for is it's Sonic! Yay! Sonic's back! This is actually Sonic's first playable appearance on Sega Saturn. The Sonic bonus is pretty terrible. It's not very good. He doesn't get to fly. He just has to run around and do things that he's never meant to do. But you do get to face off against the giant inflatable Robotnik at the end of the level. So yeah, this was all I had back in the day. Don't think it really sustained me. But what makes it really special is this was actually free. So Sega gave it away during Christmas 1996 as a present to anybody who bought a new Saturn or bought a Saturn game. I got my copy attached to Sega Saturn magazine in 1997. So it was a present, it was an act of goodwill for all those poor bastards like me who had Saturn instead of a PlayStation. And the way I phrased it at the time was that Christmas Nights was produced to manufacture delight rather than a profit. And you know, what could be a better present than that? What could be a better explanation of Christmas? So is nostalgia a good thing or a bad thing? Is it worth clouding our judgment to enhance our pleasure? So this opening image is not actually from Nights on Sega Saturn, it is from the Wii sequel, which is Nights Journey of Dreams. And if you knew that, you can win a 5 out of 10 pin badge. So the curse of nostalgia is this: you have this image of your past, You have something that exists pretty much only in a dream, like Nights itself. And then it becomes this slightly off version of something that you love, something that's just a little bit wrong. So I played around 5 minutes of Journey of Dreams, and to put it into perspective, I anticipated this game so much that my nickname for it was Journey of Cream Jeans. And I played about 5 minutes, and I was like, nah, fuck it, it's fine. I just turned it straight off, because I am much, much happier with those old memories. So here's the thing, the curse of nostalgia is being stuck in your childhood. It's when you have your childhood hero, which is this guy, but he turns into this guy, and your brain thinks that these two characters are the same. It thinks that they're actually a continuum, and they're not. These Sonics are two separate entities from two different generations. The one on the left, oh, laser works, fantastic. The one on the left is 1982, Alan Sonic, and this is for a kid who is 6 years old getting their Wii this Christmas. For different things, for different people. That's pretty much why all modern Sonic games are shit. So if you look at something like Sonic Generations, despite it being a really poor game, what's quite clever is that it understands that these two things are essentially immiscible. You've got classic Sonic, you've got modern Sonic, they exist in parallel and one doesn't override the other. So rather than seeing nostalgia as a curse, what I'm trying to do instead is to embrace it. Because we can't be objective about the past, but we can at least try and be impartial. And understanding your feelings of nostalgia is understanding yourself. So what I learned is, whenever I'm wearing my Knights t-shirt, hey, there's at least one person will get that reference. So what I learned is, whenever I'm wearing that, I'm not thinking about a purple jester. I'm actually thinking about this guy, and thinking about the things that he held dear instead. Thanks. Johnny Cullen has a new podcast out tomorrow called My Favourite Game, and if you want to hear me talk about Sonic 3 and Knuckles for over an hour, which I would totally recommend, it's out tomorrow. You've also got Joe Martin's Unlimited Hyperbole Christmas Special, which is out now, and it's got me talking about the same thing about 2 weeks before I did this presentation, so it's a bit of a rougher form of that. But I do have time for some questions. Before I do, it's Christmas present time. So, over the past 2 years, I've been taking the best in independent video game writing and hiding it in a digital magazine. The latest issue is called Stroll, and it came out last week. It's only £2.50. We've also just launched an art print store, so you can buy all of those covers and hang them on your wall. Jake's already got one in his wall. Happy Christmas, I guess. Vicky seemed to like it. But Christmas is a time for giving, so everyone here tonight gets an issue for free. Hey, that's good. That was better than I hoped. You can have anything from issue 7 through to issue 10, and you can start to use the code ChristmasBrains. There's only enough download codes for everyone here, so please don't share the code on Twitter. But that is not quite everything. I'm really proud of what we've done over the past 2 years. It's good. It's some of the best writing I think you can find anywhere, and I think everyone here at VideoBrains is going to love it. That's why I'm giving you a free code. It's not because I have loads of copies kicking about the house, because it's digital. And it's nice like that. But I need people to get behind this. It's only going to work if people buy it. That's why we've got people here who are really passionate about that kind of thing. So hopefully if you like that, you will like this. And today, the big surprise is we're launching a brand new bundle, and it's got issues 6 through 10, and it's called Year 2, imaginatively enough. And 25% of the profits from that go towards Special Effect, which is a charity that helps people with disabilities to enjoy video games. It's really quite nice. So the deal is, you get a free issue. If you enjoy it, buy another one. Hey, happy Christmas. That is pretty much it. You've had your sales pitch, and now you can do what you want. Has anybody got any questions? No. Okay. Oh, anybody do? There's nothing. Classic Knuckles is okay. Arm Day Knuckles is shit. Chest Day Knuckles is shit. And you got he sucks.
How do you feel about Knuckles in Sonic and Sonic Hedgehog 2?
I thought Knuckles and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yes, you can.
I know. If anybody's going to do it. I quite like it. It seems a bit blasphemous, but it's actually quite good. Yeah. The only problem is when you get to the final boss, because Knuckles doesn't jump as high, it makes it like one of the hardest things ever, because he can't quite get high enough. It's kind of like me struggling for that projector. You feel sorry for him, but you don't want to help him out. You just want to watch him struggle. Has anybody else got anything else? Oh, yes, well, you're going to have to shout, sorry.
Will there ever be a Sonic Generations 2?
If there is, I'm not going to make it. Like Sonic Generations is interesting because whenever you're an old Sonic fan, there does become this kind of vein of apologism. You go, Sonic Generations, it's almost good. And I picked it for £10 at Asda, and it was fucking dreadful. It was fucking dreadful. So, I don't know. I don't know if there should be any Sonic games. I think they should just be put out to pasture, or perhaps flattened by a truck, as happens to all hedgehogs. Well, as I say, classic Sonic games are shit. My Sonic's good. It's your Sonic as well. But I don't know. I think it's one of these interesting things which never quite transitioned to 3D, obviously, and everybody seems to know this, apart from the people who continually churn out Sonic games. Maybe the best thing, I haven't played Sonic Boom, but I heard you had to hold down a button to run. So, yeah. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I just can't. It's kind of like holding down a button in Tetris to make the blocks move. That's pretty much it. So yeah, is it going to be a Sonic Generations 2? God, I really hope not. I really do. Because I'll be there in Asda, and I'll be in my 40s, but I'll go, oh come on Sonic, one more go. I'll be sitting there with my PS7 controller, tears streaming down my face. Saying never again, and then we're back again for Sonic Generations 3. Has anyone got anything else? Does anybody else want to torture my Sonic history and ruin my childhood? No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually I wanted to ask, in what way was the new Knights so bad that compared to the old one?
Well, immediately, one of the cool things about Knights is that Knights doesn't have any gender. Knights is androgynous. And the whole point was that you get one female character, one male character, and you can kind of project onto Knights whatever you want. So Knights is just this happy-go-lucky gesture, just trying to help everybody out and have a fun time. And whenever you start up Knight's Journey of Dreams, Knight starts talking with a woman's voice and an English accent. Like, hello, I'm not. And say, oh no. And then a magic idol comes along and starts giving you a tutorial, and that was as far as it got. So, does it get worse? Who knows? Do I want to find out? No, I certainly do not. I'll leave that for somebody else. Well, I think you can get classic Knights for the 360 and PS3 and PC, and that's it. And it also comes with Christmas Nights. So you can play it almost the way it was meant to be played. The best way is still with the massive dinner plate Sega Saturn 3D controller, which makes the original Xbox controller seem like a masterwork of ergonomics. It's really it's well, it's kind of good. You need to fight through the pain because you love the game so much, you know. But I think Journey of Dreams, like a kid from a different, again, it's like a kind of a generational thing where it did, I think, get quite good critical reception at the time. But fuck if I've been playing it.
It's time now.
It's time.
So time.
Right.
I'll literally just come up.
Being dragged down shot, sorry. Thank you.